Well, haven't even started on the subframe yet. I want to show you quickly a couple of things. We're redesigning the exhaust system. Not really redesigning, a couple of small changes because I put a post on Facebook and like I said, I've optimized everything and everything is much more efficiently, and I'm trying to get all this out the door quicker. And yeah, we got a success with this. However, because the business is growing, demand is growing, I'm just seems to not catching up anyway, because obviously, yeah, it's more efficient one way, but there's more orders. So I'm trying to get everything even more efficient. As much as this setup is great, because I'm building everything on the actual MR2 chassis with that engine fitted, we're making everything. So it's great because everything is absolutely perfect. But there is more efficient way to do it, but I have to spend time and money. Well, not money, but time is money, to make jigs for the exhaust system. This is exactly what I'm doing now. The reason for that, because this will speed up the whole manufacturing process. Sorry for the mess, but it's so hot in here. I don't have the energy to actually tidy up. Yeah, no, fuck it. It's just what I have to do. That's the priority, and then we tidy up after. So this is, for example, the jig I'm using for the main downpipe. Well, yeah, downpipe from the turbo to the silencer. You see, it's actually bolted to the flange. The flange, everything is machined, so everything fits perfectly. There's no slack, there's no movement. Bolted down. The other side is a V-band. I will receive a V-band which is welded to the frame. This is a bolted frame that holds the position on where the exhaust actually mounts to the car, which we changed. We changed also this is the bumper exit, which exits from here, and again all jigged up. Everything has a jig, everything welded up, so there is only one position you just cannot get it wrong. There's your receiver clamp there. Once you tie this down, once you put this in position, you just cannot have it wrong, period. Now it looks all very simple once you've done it, but it requires quite a lot of time, because the prototype, which is this and this, they have to be extremely precise, like the best possible way to do it. And then that you have to put back in the jig, because the jig has to be built around this, but there's no slack, there's literally zero tolerances, and you have to work with the big stuff when you weld everything. For example, if I weld this over there, this comes down, so I have to play with the welds, because I don't want any stress put on the material, because then after it may come back, whatever. You weld over there and you bring it to where it should be. Now, me welding for so long with the TIG welding and build so many exhaust manifolds, which they are extremely sensitive of what I just said. Luckily, I got enough knowledge and kind of experience with know how to do it, but still it has to be very precise. You see, like this, everything is just there. There's no slack, nothing. What this results at the end is that every single exhaust system, when it came out from the production line, is exactly spot on the same. So the beauty of this now, I'm working on a stealth downpipe, which used to be in that position there. However, it was as good as you can get it, and it used to use this exhaust mount, but also it's missing at the moment, but you can see those two holes there. You can see them there, yeah. Those are the mounts for the anti-roll bar, and the 3-inch pipe just barely squeezes there. It can touch it, sometimes it touched it, but both are rubber, so no vibrations, no problems. Ideal, no, but good enough. However, with the new design and the new mounting points, I don't have to run this anymore, so this can be eliminated. What it will give me a little bit more space, because being here, obviously I got space till here. This not being here, I can just turn it around. It gives me slightly bit more space. But also I was thinking, well, maybe the stealth pipe don't have to be on the side. I could run a little bit more centered. So I'm working on that now. And again, I'll probably run lots of different versions, because theoretically you want to do one thing, you put it in practically, and you like it, you don't like it. I have to bring the bumper over. I got the car there with everything bolted on with the plastics, and I have to see where everything sits. So even a small part like this, for prototyping, to make a jig and then out the production, it actually takes time. One piece of this could actually take a day or even two sometimes, because not all the time you have the results you want to have. Sometimes you get them spot on the first time, sometimes 10 attempts before you get it actually perfect, because again, once you build the jigs, the prototype has to be absolutely perfect. Not close to, not good enough, absolutely perfect. And only then from the prototypes all the stuff can come out. Anyways, let me go back on the track. The beauty of the exhaust systems now is that we have the main part. The main part is this. So the silencer and the downpipe. The downpipe now is going to be mounted through, I'll show you on the jig, through the brackets, and we're using the standard fitment, which is this one here. It's very strong, it's away from everything, and some people sometimes modify all the stuff, modify the rear bumper, don't run the bumper whatsoever. And previously I used to use this, you can see there was a jig here, this mount here. Now from now on we don't use it. I'm ditching this one, I'm gonna use this one here and this one here. If you look, the spacing between this and this one, this is much better. Again, everything is possible because I've made a couple of changes. The shape of this is slightly changed, the position of the silencer is slightly changed. Again, few small changes, half an inch here there, half an inch there, slightly different angle, and everything is, you know, possible, or possible different directions. So now this is what we're gonna do. Anyway, this is the main part, and obviously the second part is the tailpipe. The tailpipe is either bumper exit, which is here, or the stealth exit, which is under the bumper, which I'm working now. And the beauty of it is all interchangeable. So for example, if someone gets a stealth one like this one and then changes his mind, it's like, well, you know what, I actually prefer the bumper exit one, or for any reason I want that one, yeah, you can get that one and it will fit straight on, no problems. And the mounting point is actually going to be on those here, not on the silencer anymore, but on those, for different reasons. It doesn't matter for now. Or you can get both and you can interchange them. Very simple. So again, to make stuff this is getting simpler and simpler as we get on, but to make stuff simple, it requires actually work. The simpler the solution is, the more development and work required at the beginning. Not always, but this is generally the rule. Anyways, so we're getting on pretty good with this. I've nearly finished. I think from Monday this stuff can come out of the production line. Now, by the end of this week, I'm supposed to have nearly all of these exhaust systems done and gone out the door for the people who actually order them. Instead, I'm spending this time to actually producing these jigs, because this actually speeds up the whole production from now onwards, and also is gonna give a slightly better product than even before. Even before it was fine, it was great, but this is, I think, slightly better, even slightly better. So it's a win-win situation. It's just time. However, I want to show you another thing. I don't know if you know, but it's pretty fucking hot. I'm sweating like a pig. This is a closed environment, and it's so hot you can see the lights there actually removing the glue from my ceiling. They're dropping down. It is so hot. And I think tomorrow morning I'm gonna be here like, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and walk till 1, because literally now it's 1, 2 o'clock and it's not bearable. It's really, really hot. So what I was gonna do, I was gonna put the ventilation over there, massive fan and opening and all the stuff, all beautiful, sounds great. However, most of I'm doing here, especially now with the exhaust and everything on this stuff, and well in the stainless subframe, pretty much everything is TIG welding. TIG welding is very sensitive on argon shielding, and argon shielding is not like with a MIG. You don't run a lot of gas, you run a very mild flow, wide flow, but very mild. This is the torch being abused, obviously. And if you blow on that, you're gonna ruin my welds, because you're gonna remove the argon shield, and any draft in here will ruin my welds. And if I'm doing a subframe, which costs a lot of money, and I'm sitting there for 2 days, almost 2 days, welding alone, and let's say, for example, I'm 90% finished, I spent a lot of money and time investing in a subframe, and the last couple of welds, I got some draft and blows all the welds. I'm not saying that's going to be scrubber, it's going to ruin all the stuff. I take massive pride in welds and all that we're doing this stuff, so I can't take that risks. So even if I had a ventilation in this place, I could not use it. So this is bullshit. It's nothing I can do. So yeah, in UK we don't usually have such a high temps. And if it happens for a couple of days, maybe a week or two, and then we're done with it. So I didn't actually invest in aircon or anything like this because I said, well, going to be a couple of days, it's going to be gone. This year, for some reason, nope. So yeah, next week, if this is not going to be gone, all this shit, I'm going to have to get some aircon and put in a here because I have to keep working. Anyways, yeah, so this is now almost to the end. I'm gonna try to get more with that, but I'm gonna go as far as I can because I'm literally risking a stroke here from the heat. And look what arrived, because the engine I bought for the Frog, as you may have seen for the previous video, doesn't have any wiring loom, so I bought one from eBay. And this is exactly the same what you would do in my position. If you get yourself an engine without a wiring loom, you have to get one from eBay. In my case, there was one present there, but it was chopped in half, so completely useless. This is here, so we're gonna lay this on my engine. I'm gonna go down the workshop because it's cooler there in the shed. And yeah, we're gonna put down there. And then we have from this company here. It's not universal fitting, but it's actually, let me show you. This is here the camera gets hot. This is the oil feed line for the turbo because mine is missing. But I also forgot to order, and the fittings. I also forgot to order the gasket for the turbo like a moron, so just ask Steve to do it for me because I can't do it from my phone because I'm not logging in on my eBay. So I hope he's gonna do it and it will arrive maybe Monday. And once that is done, actually the gasket on the turbo I can change it with the engine inside because look at the axis there. I mean, you only got those 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3. You can drop it slightly more, fit the gasket, put it back on. And this is one of the perks, one of the positives of having these engines in this chassis. But that being said, if that was VR6 or VR5, doesn't matter because turbo is still in exactly the same, well, not exactly, but similar position with plenty of access. So regardless, but yeah, they're behind. Usually these turbos in the front wheel drive engines, cars like TT, or Golfs, they actually between the engine and the bucket, so it's a pain in the ass to do anything on the turbo. The downpipes, you have to do it from under the car and all sort of things. This is completely the opposite. It's probably the easiest thing to do on the engine. Anyways, regardless, wiring loom, I'm gonna tidy up. Well, not too much. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. Very quickly, I'm just gonna chop what's not needed, and that's it. Put some tape. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Put it on the engine, clean my engine bay, and fit the engine inside the engine bay. I want it to run as quick as possible, and back on the road because kind of missing the thing. And I still have to put the carbon roof on it. Anyways, so yeah, that's it. Then next week, probably gonna have all of these exhaust systems out the door, and then we have to do this special one. This is the one that I'm actually late as usual because a lot of stuff happening. We have to make a custom exhaust system for this turbo setup, and also a custom boost pipe from the turbo to the charge cooler, and the rest obviously is part of the fitting kit because the charge cooler onwards from the charge cooler mounts, the map fitting and the pipes to the plenum remains the same. It's just the part from the charge cooler to the compressor itself. So yeah, and that's the beauty of the jig, because I'm literally gonna remove this turbo setup, put that turbo setup, and I'm able to modify my downpipe to the existing exhaust. And exhaust, actually this is going to be exactly the same position, so silencer still here, the downpipe, whichever the customer chooses, the style or the bumper X is going to be the same. I'm just going to change this one here, and that's it. Quite simple. Still obviously custom job, but quite simple. Anyway, this is the first the first pipe, mid pipe, or the first part of the exhaust came out the jig, and this is the fitment. I'm just gonna put it on. Look, one finger in position. Look, you see, there's no gap there. There's absolutely no gap there. Absolute perfection of a fitment. And the beauty of the jig, once you've done it perfectly, is that every single piece, it will come out exactly like this. Not because I'm good enough to do it, because this is actually the job of the jig. If jig is done properly, there is no way to weld this stuff and put it together in a wrong way or in a different way. There's just no way. And that's the beauty of it. So it removes the stress, it removes any sort of possibility to get it wrong, because hey, I'm not a robot, could make a mistake, you know, sometimes you rush, whatever, any excuse is not a good excuse, but it could be a reason to have a mistake. This way, there's just physically no room for mistakes. You can't put the pipe in the wrong place, you can't put that flex in the wrong place. The jig will just simply not allow you. And again, everything is clamped together. There's a receiver for the V-band, so every time it's exactly there, same angle, nothing changed. The turbo flange bolted in. There's a receiver inside, so you can't move. The bolts can't move. Everything is exactly the same, at exactly the same time, every time. The mounting point, same story, same point. You just cannot change it. Can't change the angle. Both sides with all three parts. So yeah, happy with that. It's a small business, but development is going strong. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're in you know, £1,000,000 premises or £2 premises, it doesn't matter. It's what you do that counts, not where you do it. And that's the beauty of this place. You know, I absolutely love it. This is the best move I have ever done, and I keep repeating this to everyone who asks. It's why I haven't done this before. I don't know. This was a great idea, and I was worried about it before, but the more forward I go, it's like, yeah, this is absolutely awesome. I'm sweating like a pig. This turns out to be an Owen. once it's insulated, so it takes some time to heat up. So in the mornings and after night, which is 1-2 o'clock, is almost bearable, and then slowly heats up, and it, you know, accumulates the heat, which is gonna be good in winter. But in the summer, yeah, not too good. So we're pretty much done for today before I get a stroke. And I'm gonna go down conveniently and work on my own engine. Well, car engine stays all standard. So anyways, enough rambling for now. I'm gonna show you later on in a different video how to put a wiring loom on the engine and put it in. So see you soon. Happy days.